What's up, everybody? What's up? Uh, it is currently January 1st, Thursday, 2026. I'm making this video because, I I want to make a document of time. uh, man, I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of our video a little bit. Not because let's stay focused. I want to make this video to document my progress, uh, not only over the years, but also to a certain point. Um, I had bought a dry erase board, uh, and on that dry erase board, it's a big one, you know. I put down a lot of goals and dreams and all that stuff like that, you know, checkpoints in life where I probably should be, all this type of stuff, you know. And it's been 4 to 5 years around that time. Like it's the time to go ahead and take it out because I put it up and I didn't want to look at it until I come close or accomplish or whatever. I reach some type of success by that time, like okay, I reached a success. Okay, let's open it up. And I thought about 4 to 5 years, I would have that stuff done. But not really, not really. And there's some motion going on, but I just don't think it's the right time to take it out and look at it yet, because I want to reflect on where I was when I wrote that stuff to where I am now or when I open it, Basically, like, not success to success, like I want to take that out when I've reached a level of success that I don't know, proud of, comfortable with. I don't really know, but it's like I want to reach a certain level before I open that because, like I said, I just really want to reflect on myself and where I was. And like I said, by this time, there's been some things I've done, which I get to in a second that I've done that I am proud of. But I have not reached that success that I want to have been made. um, so when I reach it, whether it be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe 10, I don't know. Hopefully not more than like two. When I reach it, then not only will I will look back on this video, I will also, take that board out and look at it with all the goals and dreams, and where I was supposed to be at in life and what I was supposed to be having. And like I said, this is supposed to be a bookmark, or like it's supposed to, you know, basically. Look, I'm all over the place. Like, I wasn't. So here's the thing: I wasn't even gonna make this video. And I wasn't even thinking about that, board with all the goals and stuff. I was thinking about getting to work on what I need to do right now. Even right now, I'm working on something right now. So I wasn't really thinking about that. But as I was sitting, getting my day started, eating, and kind of just going through a little bit what I'm gonna be doing throughout the day, it just crossed my mind. Oh, the board. And I was like, yeah, man, like it's 2026, a new year, brand new year. um, I was like, should I take it out? I was like, nah. But at the same time though, um, when I do take it out, when I reach that success, I don't just want to like I want to have like markers, bookmarks, checkpoints, whatever, of who I was at a certain time. You know, uh, like I don't just want to skip over everything. The lessons I've learned, the person I've become, the people I've met, the experiences, all of that. I don't want to skip over that. To 6, 10 years down the line. Oh, it's been 12 years. Let me go ahead and take this out. It's like, yo, there's been experiences and change and growth and learnings and lessons, all that stuff like that. I don't want to skip over that. So this is what that video is for. You know, I have the board with the goals and dreams, and then I have this as a check mark or a bookmark to show from there to here, and then maybe if I make another video that, and then finally to the success and to bringing out the board. Now that was a ramble. I don't know about this video. Confidence in this video is kind of low. Plus, you know, also I'm trying not to rattle. I'm just trying to get straight to the point, make a short video, upload it, make a check mark. So yeah, but that's the basis of what this is. A lot of rattling going on. So the next thing is, okay, so what happened? What all did I go through these few years, and why is it now that I decided to make this check mark? In my over history. It's because making that board. It was, oh, I want to say maybe late 2020 or mid 2022 or something like that. I feel like 2020 to 2022. It was around that time. Um, it was definitely around that time. Where I made the board, and from the time I made that board, to the time I'm making this video, it's been not only a significant amount of time, but also a lot, a lot of experiences that I feel like, a lot of experiences that I feel like need to be talked about, and shared real quick. Um, when I made that board, 2020, 2022, around that time, I was still working my first job, Blue Beacon Truck Wash. I that was my first job. I was either in the middle of working it or the late end of it, and I was trying to map out everything that I feel like I needed to do, wanted to do, all that. Um, and then I was doing some things, trying to start up making like a YouTube and stuff like that. I had tried to start a YouTube, my friends. We posted a video, bad quality video. Um, and yeah, like we did that, and because we posted that video, I looked at that video and I thought like what I should do next. This is like weeks or a month after graduation, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, like this is what I kind of want to do. This is in the ballpark what I want to do, and I'm looking at this video, and it's cool, but I don't think it's enough. And so I'm like, okay, fuck it. Like I need to get to the next stage. What should I do? Doing research, items, equipment, this, that. And of course I came to the conclusion I need to get a job. And so I got a job, Blue Beacon Truck Wash. So so I was working there, and first few paychecks I was, just playing around, like first big money, man. But after that, I was building up studio equipment, getting sound panels, microphones, not Blue Yeti. Well, I got a Blue Yeti. Yeah, Blue Yeti. I got a Blue Yeti, $200, Snowball, $50, headphones, this, that. I think I have pictures of it that I have in my storage and stuff like that. In my gallery storage for pictures. But yeah, like I was buying all that stuff, man. Capture cards, this, that, everything, man. I was trying to do it, and I was building up equipment. I was also doing music stuff too on the side. So, and I had this dual, I had this dual kind of setup, or I was working towards this dual setup. Uh, um. Anyways, uh, well, a friend of mine was texting me. So yeah, I had this dual kind of work and setup. Like I was going to do. It was like actually like a hybrid though. I was going to do studio stuff with like voice acting and music. So I was getting equipment for that. And then I was also doing the YouTube stuff, like YouTube gaming and stuff like that, and just regular like kind of like podcast stuff, where you have your friends and you sit and y'all talk. So I was doing that. Uh, so so yeah. Um, I was doing all of that. I would I wouldn't say I was making significant progress, but I was doing some stuff, like it was like starter stuff, like really beginning stuff, I remember like it was beginner stuff, but I was gaining momentum. But then at a certain point, it was around 6 to 8 months working my job, I fell into a rut, a depression, or I won't say depression as yet, but I fell into a rut and all of my productivity just stopped. you know I just stopped doing everything, like, I didn't get up and try to, learn how to do the next step of my creative process. I didn't, save up to go ahead and buy the next studio equipment I needed to get. I just stopped, right at the beginning, and I just stopped. And that was the start of a long, long journey. At the point in time, I didn't know why or what happened to. I didn't know why I fell into this rut and what happened to make me fell into and get into this stage of, this rut, um until now. Until now. And I was very confused and bogged down, almost depressed. And I was like I said, confused. There was like a wall, like it felt like an actual wall, like, or I couldn't, like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm taking my daily walks, which is up to like up to a mile or two. Um, doing a lot of things. I'm researching, and it's like, yo, what is going on? I don't know what I should do next. I don't know who I should talk to. Like, everything was just boom, a wall. I couldn't see past the next stage. I couldn't see the next step. and and it just became I just became a zombie. Just day in, day out. Which led to me come to the conclusion, like, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and quit this job. Maybe I got it. Like, it was my first job. I haven't really been out into the, corporate world, or just the workforce, really. Like, there's so many other things I can do. I was, at the same time, I was also planning to go to the military, but I kind of both, like, because of like a unfortunate but actually a fortunate situation, I didn't go, and I could have still went, but I stopped, and I'm really grateful that I didn't go. But but yeah, but definitely, like, besides that, like, there's so much other stuff I can do. I want to go see what else I can go do, and that led to me quitting my first job, Blue Beacon Truck Wash, and then I went and I, was looking for other jobs. I'm pretty sure I put in an application for something. I don't remember exactly, but I put in an application for something, but I didn't get it at that time. But yeah, I quit. There was like around 3 weeks to a month, maybe. I was jobless, which, oh my god, yo, like, that stuff really, really, like, it was like the worst time of my life, because, coming straight from high school, getting your first job, getting all this money, and then doing that for a year, and then quitting your job, and then not having all this money, meaning no more freedom to, like, buy what you want or go where you want and stuff like that. It was hell, and then, like, just all that, so yeah. So yeah, that happened. But I found a job first. My first job back into the workforce was Amazon. So I worked at Amazon. I worked at Amazon for about 2 to 3 weeks. Now I know people be like, "Oh, you quit Amazon stuff like that." Like, well, no, that's not the case like that. Yes, I did quit it, but that wasn't the entire case. What actually happened was I was working Amazon. It was Working at Amazon was a little tricky because um, it was in Balk Springs, and it was and from where I live, not having so I don't have a car, and it's a little bit far from where I live. Not only that, but thirdly, the bus transport is not really there. So I had to take like a lot of Ubers and Lyfts and stuff like that. And so when I was, it was like $20, $30 minimum to get back and forth from the job. So it was about 40 to 60 bucks a day I was spending just to get back and forth from work. And not only that, it just didn't feel like the right work for me because it was so quiet. And it also was like really early in the morning, like 4 a.m. to like 8 a.m. or something like that. I can't remember exactly. And like, yeah, yeah, man. But luckily, I had put a FedEx application in the same time I put in the Amazon application. It took a little bit longer for them to get back to me. Well, not that long, to be honest. But it's just like I put the two in at the same time. Amazon got me first, but a little after that, FedEx got me too. And so yeah, like I started at FedEx. I was for around a week. I was working both Amazon and FedEx, and so once I was working that, I was working the two, and I kind of figured out which one I like more. I'm a very active person, so I was liking FedEx more. It was more people, more time. It was louder, and not like in the case of like it was chaotic, but it's like it was kind of like the opposite of Amazon. So quiet, can't really socialize that like that, and of course not too physical, which is like I gotta move. Like I think I have ADHD or something. So yeah, like I was like, okay, I kind of prefer this more. And so of course, I was working more at FedEx, so and I kind of didn't really have the time for Amazon that much. Plus, I didn't even like it in the first place, so I just went ahead and quit. So FedEx, this was the start of my true lessons, man. So it was a bad time at FedEx, but I learned a lot. This is where I learned a lot about myself, about my life, the life I want to live, everything. And so I worked at FedEx from like 2022 at least to 2024. Yeah, 2022 to 2024. Around that time, I worked at FedEx. Um, it was around 2.5 years. Working at FedEx. You know, at first it was cool. I'm back working. I'm back making money. Like everything's cool. Fresh new start. Let's go. Also at the same time, personal wise, like I was dealing with insecurity and like unrequited romance. Unrequited romance. And at that time, you know, I would like to say I wanted to get back into the gym. When I was in high school, now I wasn't the most active kid. I wasn't an extreme sport person, but over the years of my life, starting around like eighth grade, I started becoming more active. Joining JROTC, doing like some bodyweight push-ups and it's and like all this push-up, blah blah blah. And then by high school, I was doing a little bit of weights. My I had some old weights from my grandfather, my late grandfather. And then sophomore year, I joined wrestling. So it wasn't extreme, but I was an ex-athlete, and I was pushing myself to be more active. But then around that time, the 6 or 7 months time at Blue Beacon, I stopped my physical activity, especially because I thought Blue Beacon was giving me enough activity. But I lost muscle mass, I gained fat, It was bad. I was out of shape. And around that time, I joined FedEx, and everything was going on. I was like, you know what? I want to get back. I want to get back to working out. And that was the first time that I got in there 3 months straight, and like, yo, in and out, and not some gym. I'm talking about, like, just at home with me and my weights, eating right, working out right. And that was the first time I saw me in the world saw a drastic change in my physique. My first drastic, like, I've always had like a good aesthetic a little bit, from working out and being active, but that was the first time. So that was something. And then um after that, just a lot of working, but that little thing there. And then later on, stress, chronic stress, figuring that out, exactly who I want to be and what I want and all this stuff like that. So because it's to try to keep rambling, this is a bit of a long video anyways, to keep from extreme rambling. And it's kind of like all over the place, it's not like a straight narrow line when it comes to this stuff. Um, for the majority, a year to the 2 years, or 1 to 1.5 years, what I learned was, yo, I want money. I want a lot of money, but I just want enough money to just live, bro. When I say live, I mean live, not survive. I don't want to just live paycheck to paycheck. I want to live, and what I want to live to do is, I don't want fancy cars. I don't want mansions. I don't want a bunch of women. When I was a kid, or when I was first had high school, seeing everything online about millionaires and stuff like that, I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to, I wanted to be all that stuff. Fast cars, shiny cars, fast money, all this stuff like that, popularity, fame. Like, I wanted all this stuff. And working FedEx for a amount of time, it humbled me. You know, I don't want a fucking fast car. I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want a fucking mansion. I don't want $1 million fucking dollars day to day or something. I don't want a bunch of women wanting me. Like, I don't want any of this stuff, bro. I don't. And I just want to make enough money to, support my life, and to support my life, my lifestyle, which is, just I want to have a wife and kids, and I want to support hobbies, like maybe like bowling, or like basically just going out, living life, blah blah blah. Like simple things, and simple things that you just want to do, like you want to take a vacation trip with your family, all that type of stuff. That is simply what I want, you know. So I got humbled. And I know for a fact that on that dream board, on that gold board, shiny fast money and shiny cars is on that bitch. And FedEx humbled me. Um, so yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is, during that time, so it's always been like a hard. I knew the ballpark of what I wanted to do in life. It was centered around creation. Now, what that creation was not, you know, what that creation was not clear. You know, I went from music, I went from theater and acting, I went from uh YouTube to this. Like, it was all over the place. And um it was around the 2 year and a half mark, but basically right at the end. And I'm gonna wrap this up in like few. Um, I finally, so around the end, of my year at FedEx, um, I was like, yo. Oh, actually, hold up. Before I get to that, because that would be the end. Real quick thing. Like I said, this is all random and out of order. Um, I'm gonna post a raw of this on YouTube, but then I'm gonna probably, when doing something else with this footage, I'm gonna probably edit it up. But anyways, here's the thing: personal insecurities, humbling. Another thing is self-discovery. Um, Again, it was, which is also humbling. I did not know anything about myself, and I, basically a lot of things, from why I can't do certain things, why I keep doing bad habits, why I can't develop new good habits, why is this type of lifestyle still stuck with me, this, that, boom, 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 all these things about myself and my life. And I had to take a look back, also, like, why do I want to do this creation stuff? Like, why do I keep going towards the creation stuff? Why don't I just give it up and just do a regular job? Go to college, do this, do that, get a corporate job or something like that. And I did a lot of self discovery, and I was like, oh, like, yo, this creation stuff has been in my blood, has been in my life since I was a child, and so that is why, I'm so eager for it, and I can't do anything else. And then stress, I had chronic stress, and I kept like uh procrastinating things, this and stuff like that. And again, a lot of stress has been in my life since I was a child. Breezing through those real quick, and so yeah, a lot of self discovery. And lastly, trying to wrap this up, I'm gonna do a remake of this, just to spruce it up a bit, just with the raw version right now. But anyways, lastly, at the last end of FedEx, what I did was I was trying to do filming, researching that up, and I was talking to some people. We was about to do it, but then it fell flat. It was one of those woulda coulda type of things. But at the same time, the most consistent thing in my life that I've always been like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, which is manga, which is like being a manga maker or anime maker, happened. And through persistence, tenaciousness, if that's a word, but tenacity, um, and luck, I broke into. I took the actions that started me breaking into the manga slash comic world to realize my dreams. At first, it was small. At first, it didn't feel real, but I did it. Uh, I did it. And fast forward to now, I have a officially published work, or I've made work webcomic with 4 chapters now of recent. That's slow process, but process. 30 plus panels each, and I'm working on my second title, which is a manga. The other one's a webcomic, and also I am in the works of working with a professional manga studio. Uh, and so yeah, like I'm doing it. There's a lot of stuff I left out, a lot of rambling, but here's the gist of it. I persisted. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of stress, a lot of work, but I persisted. I started from the bottom. I started basic. The way it all started was laying in bed, which I am right now. I am sitting in my bed, laptop in front of me though. I'm about to work on some stuff. Um, And I got tired of laying in bed. I got tired of being tired. I got tired of too tired to take action. And what I did was I had some leftover studio stuff, and what I simply did was I got some music, I got my green screen, I got myself, was inspired by a piece of music, used that music. I did a silly dance video, which I will make sure I have around, I keep around me. Um, but yeah, with that little music video and that inspiration, I put the background of an anime image, uh, with my green screen in the back. Then I put then I just like project it's such a raw thing, bro. I was in my pajamas, bro. I was shirtless in my pajamas, raggedy, raggedy set up, everything like that. I just made that video, and I was dancing in the video to the song. It was an anime song, and that was the first post that started everything, and it started the trajectory that I am on now. And it makes me feel proud of myself because I started from there, and I just started making these atmospheric picture videos. I first it was just me, but then I made a background, got a background image, put a picture of myself in it, but the image of myself was a black silhouette of myself. I did some editing and made myself into a black silhouette image, and I posted that, and I slapped some music, and I just posted these little reveals, these little picture effect music shorts. And after that, it turned into AMV shorts and reels. And then it turned into nostalgia reels. Then it turned into me making a podcast. And then it turned into me making comics and manga. And yeah, here I am at the process, at the start, There's so much more. Um, I will do a refined version of this video, more details and stuff like that. Maybe even shorter, but just detailed and structured. Well, but yeah, man. The message of this video, man, is it was whether this is from now, whether it's 2 years or 10 years from now. I want you to know, Quintavious. I want you to know, Quintavious, in the future, if we make it, that it took us quite a bit to get to the official start of everything, which is today, January 1st, 2026. We've had to go through 4 to 5 years of figuring ourselves out and figuring out what we want to do with our life. A lot of falls, a lot of ups, but we are officially at the start. And this is a new beginning. In the next video that I make to bookmark a transition in our history, it is going to be beyond belief the things that I'm going to have to talk about that I stress about, because it's not going to be, oh, I didn't have a job, oh, I was just in bed or this or something like that. No, it's going to be, the manga, chapter 97 of manga. This is a little bit late. Oh, there's too many comments, I need to disable the comments or something like that. That's what it's going to be about, because we fucking did it, bro. And let's do it right.